तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. Sri Ramakrishna's visit to Vidyasagar. We had a short introduction of what Vidyasagar was and why Sri Ramakrishna is eager to see him. Wherever there is manifestation of divinity, wherever there is longing for God, wherever there is sacrifice, wherever there is universal love, there God's presence, God's special attention, personal involvement will be there. For the purpose of nature is to see that every jiva returns to its source, the ocean of bliss, peace, love, absolute, by attaining absolute perfection. All the sukha dukkha a jiva experiences throughout his life. Great calamities come, great suffering comes, unbearable situations come. All these are the jiva needs necessarily for its evolution. So without it, the evolution will be staggered back, lowered. So the necessary precondition of evolution is suffering on one side. Other side, it is the nature's law to implement the law, and jiva has to experience world in various ways according to the past momentum it has gained. Suppose somebody loved a person, gave lot of support in life, and was life's partner in every aspect of life, and I am charmed. The person is charmed and he never wants to part from it. Here comes the moha into picture. One day, everyone that have come together have to part. Those which are composed has to decompose. So this is the law of nature. We forget the law of nature, try to possess what is not to be possessed, just because it pleases and satisfies me, not because it is going to help me to evolve further, go further. Love of God, welcome. It is going to make you evolve. Many sufferings becomes essential when that moha is there, and the bodily awareness that I am this body, with this body I am going to enjoy, that false ego has to be destroyed. So body starts suffering, giving so much of pain that he says, enough of this body. I want to go beyond that clinging to life. Life is yours, body is yours, given to you. But its disuse or misuse or overuse in a wrong direction, it was given for a definite purpose. If we are walking on the path to our evolution, we don't need any suffering. The life will be so peaceful. Maybe a little karma we have to work out for some time, maximum this life. But in and through all that, the evolution is assured. A day will come when I have transcended the whole bodily existence and I have realized my own spiritual existence. I am enlightened. To that extent it takes us. So when we are by mistake clinging to this body, clinging to this life, instead of holding on, seeking life eternal, joy, eternal peace, that's why we call it Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. What is Nitya? What is Anitya? So, holding on to Nitya always, anything coming, is it going to stay forever with me? One important thing is, even bad days will flee away, it goes off. Great sufferings will go away. Just like joyful days go and suffering comes. Youth will go away, old age comes. All are constantly changing flux of this world. If you want to hold on to this, thinking it is eternal, it is going to be with you, you are mistaken. And nature, and that will be the cause of your suffering. Because inevitable happens. The body on which you are depending becomes old. It cannot get up, it cannot walk. The mind on which you are depending so entirely, dementia enters. This is not exclusive to people in the world, even people who have renounced. But the inner awareness of the divine, unless we cultivate unbroken thought of divine within and be like Vidyasagar, loving and compassionate to the extreme, humble to the blade of grass, so much like that externally and internally, totally devoted to the divine, offer to the divine, then only we will be safe in this world, protected by the divine and protected by the nature, and will be constantly evolving. Our sadhana becomes not ups and downs, but a smooth consistency of constant evolution. Evolution, you start experiencing, oh, I have gone a step ahead of what I was yesterday. I have gone, this will be the understanding. Yes, I am progressing. And this is possible when all this, the Mada, Matsarya, Krodha, Kshobha, all these 16 pushpas we offer in our Manasa Puja. In Manasa Puja, we do the nyasa of the Devata whom we are worshipping. We do the dhyana. Then, after the dhyana, we clearly visualize the Ishtadevata in the heart and place that flower at Sahasrara to be in line with the absolute existence beyond. The personal God in the heart. In the head there is the opening to the infinite existence. With that, what do? We collect various flowers. Whole life is spent in collecting amayam, anahankaram, aragam, amadam tatha, amatsaryam, alobhancha, dashapushpam vidurbudaha, ahimsa paramam pushpam, pushpam indriya nigraha, daya pushpam, kshama pushpam, jnana pushpancha panchamam, iti panchadasha bhava pushpaihi sampujayet Sri Ramakrishnam. When we are doing Manas Puja, amayam, freedom, free from Maya. To become free from Maya, Maya is cosmic delusion in which all the jivas are included, and Vidya Maya has to interfere to release us from the cosmic Maya. So, the body awareness, I don't know what am I. I am identified with the body, I am seeking all the comforts and luxuries and enjoyments of at the bodily level. I am in Maya. To release, I have to hold on. I must shift. I must transform myself. I must go from this realm of matter into a realm which is going to lead me to the pure spiritual realm. So there comes from avidya maya, I am entering into the vidya maya jurisdiction. From there, she helps us to go forward. Amayam, anahankaram, freedom from ahankara, humility. Vidyasagar, we are seeing how much humble he was. The egolessness comes to total surrender to God, total surrender to the ideal, total unconditional surrender to the Guru who guides us along the spiritual path. So with that, the ego slowly and totally, wholeheartedly attending to all duties of life, offering to God, and totally involved in spiritual practices. With whole heart and soul, you must be doing the spiritual practices. Whatever you do, with full mind, full dedication. Anahankara, aragam, attachments free from raga, viraga, vairagya, to be indifferent to things. It is there, it is there. I am not. I neither hate it, nor I dislike it, nor I am attached to it that I cannot live without it. No, it is there. If it is not there also, doesn't matter. So I am not dependent on it. I am not seeking it. I am not holding on to it. I neither there is liking or attachment, nor there is disliking or abhorrence. This state is called araga or viraga. Aragam, amadam tatha, mada. Oh, the pride. Pride comes before a fall. So the pride, it must go with extreme humility. Possess anything, knowledge. You may be possessing great wisdom in the world, or worldly wisdom, what we call. You may be a good businessman. You may be a rich man. On that, when you hold on to those as the support of your behavior, talk, and expressing, belittling others in the sight of that, in these supporting transitory supports, holding on to that, when you show the pride, belittling, as if to belittle others, I am greater than you, then it is called mada. Matsarya, deep, long-lasting dislike, and a sense that they must be below me and they should never come up. they must be suffering, I must be enjoying. That kind of. I am intolerant to their welfare. Then it is called Matsarya. Something bad should befall on them. That's my wish. It is Matsarya. Aragam amadam tata amohakam. Adhammancha moha we saw just now. I am holding on to things which is not mine, as mine. Moha. Amohakam adhambancha. The dharmadhvaja. Advesha akshobhakau tata. Advesha. Dvesha rahita. When we cultivate universal love, love for all beings, then we will overcome this dvesha bhava. Competitive spirit also is a kind of dvesha. Matsarya, all these very subtle differences it makes. Dvesha, akshobha, going on burning within oneself. Somebody told something, somebody scolded, going on cogitating on that and becoming unhappy within is called kshobha. Akshobhakam tata amatsaryam alobhancha dashapushpam vidurbudaha ahimsa paramam pushpam. Ahimsa, not to be cause of other suffering by any means. Ahimsa paramam pushpam, pushpam indriya nigraha. The whole senses which wants to run towards its object of senses. I am applying sanyama, self-control, and making them move towards the right direction. Their natural tendency of the senses is to run after the worldly enjoyments, worldly possessions. So, holding them back with proper understanding, proper knowledge, proper seeking a higher alternate. For the sake of higher, I have to give up the lower needs of my life, supports of my life, to hold on to the higher. So, ahimsa paramam pushpam indriya nigraha. Indriya nigraha is an important part without which we cannot concentrate. When the senses are dragging towards the world, how can the mind concentrate on the higher ideals? It can't. It just life becomes stagnant. It doesn't move. No enthusiasm. Indriya nigraha, daya pushpam, the compassion for the suffering mankind, compassion for the even vegetation, plants and trees, animal kingdom. Wherever there is suffering, wherever there is lack of comfort, discomfort is there, where there is pain and suffering, trying to remove, feeling for that, compassion. Daya pushpam, kshama pushpam. When somebody harms me, I have a capacity to return the challenge or suppress. I have the power, I have the authority, yet I don't exercise it. Looking upon him as a child of God, innocent, ignorant, making mistakes, I go on pardoning for the love of God. I pardon for love of God. I am pardoned for all the mistakes I have done in my life, that I have come to the feet of God. Now, if I don't pardon others, how there will be transformation in them? So, like that, trying to bring wisdom, love of God into picture For love of God, I pardon you. Kshama Pushpam, Daya Pushpam, Kshama Pushpam, Jnana Pushpancha Panchamam. Jnana is what we saw, what is knowledge at the beginning. God alone is the doer. All else are instrument in His hand. To surrender it as feet and to transcend the nature and go beyond is the purpose of life. So here we see how God enters into our life, interferes into our life, and makes our life smooth. And of course the path is not so smooth as we think. It is tough, but the divine presence in us, divine company in our heart, that constantly radiates bliss and peace, makes me indifferent to the pains and sufferings. Otherwise, it would be a burden for me. Now it becomes a joy. Journey, spiritual journey becomes a joyful journey to the eternal. If but for God's presence in my heart, it would be as if a torture for me. I am undergoing so many tapas like, without any definite fruit that I am going to get. I have a purpose to attain, but I don't know whether the fruit comes or not for my efforts. But I am striving to. Here, then it becomes a burden on the shoulders. When we feel the presence of God with us, because of all these good and great qualities that I have acquired, I have only in my heart love and compassion. I don't seek anything, I live a pure life. Then you see the God's presence is felt in your heart. Nature also removes all the thorns on in your path and keeps the path ready, free. So, Sri Ramakrishna has come to the is polished, he wears. Vidyasagar asks him what kind of person he is. So behind I am leaving all the things we have read. He wears a red border cloth and polished slippers. About it we discussed. He lives in a room in Rani Rasmani's temple garden. Who is Rasmani is well known to most of the people around and far off. And she had built a temple. It is a Leela Kshetra for Lord to come and play. What must have been her dedication, what tapas she might have done in her previous lives to become a source of providing a place for the avatara to do his Leela. What great merit she must be carrying, what meritorious act she might have done. Holy Mother says regarding her brothers, oh, they must have given their head as a sacrifice for saving someone, or some great sacrifice they must have done to be born as my brothers. Like that, to become a adhara for the supporting Leela, one who is going to participate in the Leela play. It's a wonderful thing. And Rasamani builds that temple at the beckoning of Mother, at the command of Mother, Divine Mother, and makes all the arrangements necessary. She doesn't even know Ramakrishna, the avatar, Varishta is going to come and stay. But all things are happening. She has been one of the adharas for the Leela to happen. So in their temple garden, Sri Ramakrishna lives. That is, the Leela, the divine play is going to unfold now. It has beginning. So he has finished his last many years of sadhana and attained the supreme knowledge that every jiva he expects to attain. And here you see his part of dharma samsthapana is going on, cleaning all the religions of the accrued dirt and unwanted things. All the religions differ only in non-essentials. Sri Ramakrishna is highlighting the essentials in all religions, putting a stamp of validity on all of them, all paths to God. He personally practiced individually and put the seal of validity. Yes, this is true, this is true. And now that supreme knowledge as a Lord of the universe, here he has taken a human form to give that dharma samsthapana, to establish dharma on the earth and give mukti to many people, as many as they come forward to accept that path and go. Even otherwise, it may take a little longer time, but a time will come when Sri Ramakrishna's name on this earth will be of like Rama and Krishna. I went to somebody's house today in the evening, and that question was asked, Swamiji, when the next incarnation will come. I was explaining to them the yuga, how the yugas change like seasons, for dharma and adharma variations. In Kali Yuga there will be little dharma, 1/4, and 3/4 adharma, and in Satya Yuga there will be 3/4 dharma and 1/4 adharma. How the season goes on changing, why it changes, the man yielding more and more to senses, and the Yuga Parivartana takes to the Kali Yuga last, where adharma dwells in a very high level. And how the avatara comes when all the jivas start shouting at each level, Trahi, Trahi. So we are moving towards that. Then they asked, when is the next avatara going to come? Then I said, Sri Ramakrishna has already come. He is very close to us. We have not even just opened our eyes to him. A century back he has descended to the world. And slowly world is undergoing transformation. The people have started telling, we are not religious, we are spiritual. Spiritual is the ultimate. From dushta jivana, we go to shishta jivana. From shishta jivana to dharmika jivana. From dharmika jivana to adhyatmika jivana. Dushta jivana, the bad life, evil life, gives us constant suffering, and we are searching for joy, but it gives suffering. Then we evolve to a higher level, where is the searching for the real happiness. We move forward and start living a honorable life of purity, of divine love and all, compassion for others. But the suffering and bondage doesn't end. Then he looks around. Where will we get? Why it is happening like this? I am leading a righteous life. Why there is suffering in my life? Then he starts searching what is life? Why we are here? How is this universe? What are the laws of nature? How nature governs our life? All the secrets of nature he starts finding, and then sees an unknown power is governing all lives and this universe. And he understands what people used to call as God is this. Then he starts religious life of strict disciplines. In religious life, lot of rules and regulations. Because of that, he will not have a fall, but no attainments also. Then he starts thinking how to transcend the nature and go beyond, and finally comes to spiritual life where there is no rules and regulations, intense love of God, intense love of beings, with which he will start living a new life of constant unbroken evolution to manifest his inner divinity. So from Dushta Jivana, bad life, we enter to Shishta Jivana, good life. From good life to the religious life, from religious life to the spiritual life. So the Avatara has come and has made this transformation already. Slowly people are awakening to the pure spiritual life. Even all other religions also are peeping. Oh, what are we lacking? We are, our base is spiritual, our culmination is spiritual. All religions have a common base. All religions together, individually, have the same common culmination. So the spirituality is the from where the religions originate. It leads ultimately to spirituality through the life spiritual. So people have started accepting religious life and transcending the religious life now and entering into the spiritual life. Spiritual life is common life for all. It is universal life. So here the Rasmani's part in the Leela we saw. Om Niranjanam Nityamanantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhritavigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha.